All right, what's going on, everybody? It's Z Vamps. We're back on the podcast. I was sitting here in my room. It's like 1:17 p.m. right now, and I was sitting here, and I was like, "Man, I kind of want to record a podcast, but I don't know what to talk about." And for some reason, I never know what to talk about until time comes. But as I'm sitting here, I came across an article about high status people, and you know what common characteristic traits successful people have. And so I said, oh, well, I'll make it about mentality because I think mentality has a lot to do with being successful and, just an overall sum of things combined into the end result of someone, and which normally results in being successful if you have these certain traits, right? So, yeah, I want to talk about, I guess, my life, how I relate, and some very successful people and what they've done. Think and Grow Rich kind of portrays this by Napoleon Hill. He talks about, various successful people and what they've done. And I figured I would talk about it too. So, the first thing that I've noticed is that what you need to have is a dream, obviously. Because there was this quote on this article that was along the lines of, well, imagine if you have a cruise ship, right? And you have a whole set of crew. You have a captain. You have everyone on there to operate the cruise ship, right? And you set a destination. 99.9% of that time, that boat's going to reach the destination. But if you don't have anybody on that ship, you just start the engines and you kind of let it go. Most of the time, 99.9% of the time, it's going to miss that target because it's under no operation, right? So kind of like a person. If you don't have a dream or you don't know where you're going, how do you know what you're working for? How do you know what your subconscious is processing information for? Like if you're not actively working towards something, what are you working towards? Like everyone generally gets a job or runs a business or something, right? Making money. But what are you making it for? To pay your bills? You want to live paycheck to paycheck? Are you living for retirement? Some of those things. Now, having a dream. Now speaking of dreams, I like to focus on my dreams a lot because I think it's very important, and a lot of people have given me the advice to think out your dreams thoroughly. So every week or so, I like to sit down while I'm meditating, and I literally did it last night. That's why it's like kind of crazy I'm talking about this. But I sat there in my bed and I was just literally envisioning, what it would look like, what it would feel like, what I would look like, the people around me, stuff like that. What car am I driving? What does the house look like? What's the location? Am I happy? Am I sad? Am I neutral? Do I have a boat? Shit, I kind of want a boat. But another thing is like mentality-wise, is that I see a lot of people that have these high, inspiring goals. They want to achieve millions of dollars, or they want to have a certain amount of people in their life, or have a certain audience on a social media, right? But then they work 3 days a week, 25 hours a week, struggling to pay bills. But in their free time, they do nothing but spend their money and do things that aren't of high status quota. And so the other outline of that article was willing to work hard. Like what is the sacrifice that you have now compared to what you'll have later? Like, are you sacrificing? I think I talked about in one of my previous podcasts about working, like 80 hours a week. If you're sacrificing that time you have now, 80 hours a week, how fast are you going to achieve that goal? Is it going to be when you're 25? And then by the time you're 25, you're retired. Like, insanely fast, or financially free, I guess would be a better way to put it. So if you sacrifice now and you're willing to work hard now and not have to work hard later, is that going to benefit your life more, or you just want to live life now and have to do all that hard work later in order to retire or have a happy life? I think, okay, I think I'm gonna show another TikTok. All right, so this TikTok is from Ed Milet. He's verified on TikTok, so shout out to him. And he talks about how tell me it's not worth it. Basically, here I'll play the TikTok right now.
Oh man, tell me it's not worth it. It's worth it. Keep paying the price. Promise you, you're gonna get to your dream someday, and as good as you think it is when you get there, it's a million times even better than you can dream it. I promise you. Keep chasing it down. Max out.
And I kind of thought personally that quote was crazy because again on another podcast I talked about Grant Cardone and how he was saying that anything you can dream like a million times bigger because you can truly have what you really want as long as you're willing to work towards it. And I just thought that was crazy because I feel as if my dreams are like super big, but then again, that's suggestive to what other people have achieved, right? Like Elon Musk being an immigrant, he probably didn't even know, like I don't know his mentality, but he might have just wanted to be retired and working and just be grateful for what he has. But that man went like hyper extreme. You know what I mean? Running Tesla, SpaceX. He started up PayPal, like all those different things. And if you don't really know how big your dream can be until you're there, I suppose. Like, how do I really know that? Like, okay, so basically what I'm trying to say is that I have my dream, right? And I can envision my dream and envision my future. But eventually, I'm probably going to surpass that if I just keep working towards my certain goal. I'm going to get there, right? But once I get there, I'm not going to stop. Why would I stop? Oh, I made it. No. I'm going to keep going. Because I worked for it. And that progress is probably going to be exponential. So the other highlight was having specific knowledge or training. And so I kind of want to relate to that as well. Because being so young, I've been, and with the amount of capital that I do have, I've been trying to micro focus on certain skills. So high status skills, such as educating myself in every market that there is, or getting certain skill sets that are uncommon, in which I actually have to pay for. So for instance, I'm currently going to get my real estate license so that I can administer real estate transactions, right? Eventually I can build off of that, become not just a real estate agent, but become a broker. And then once I'm a broker, I can get into commercial or, commercial real estate, or I could stick with regular housing, residential. But there's always room to build within real estate. So the possibilities are kind of endless. The other thing is I'm working getting a license education with MIT for cryptocurrency. Now, since I'm very passionate about cryptocurrency and my investments have paid off well, then in the amount of cryptocurrencies that there are, the possibilities are pretty much endless as well, right? So you have basically an infinite amount of possibilities within, well, those specifically are two different things, right? And then since I want to become better at those two subjects, I'm playing in to what skills I might need for those skills, if that makes any sense. So for instance, real estate, sometimes you have to negotiate, right? Or negotiation is just a good skill to have. And Harvard offers negotiation as one of their licensed classes, right? It's not like going to college and having to take gen eds and stuff like that. It's I believe a 6-week course, right? So you're hyper focused on one specific subject, but really advanced. So I'm paying to go and get that certification for negotiation, because that skill set will only put me at a higher status in terms of the skills that I already have. Right? So if even small scale, like if I'm going to a garage sale, right? Or a car dealership, and I want to buy a car or maybe a dresser from a garage sale, right? Either instance works, but I don't want to pay that price. Well, I have negotiation under my belt. So why don't I use the skills that I got from that class to benefit my life now, right? So with negotiation, you're either saving money or making more money, depending on how you look at it. But it's only a positive effect in terms of how I wish to use it. So, and obviously with the real estate license and the crypto license, that's also advancing your knowledge or training within that specific course, right? Or in that specific realm. So currently, I already know how to facilitate real estate transactions, but I don't know everything there is. And if I want to do it, I have to be licensed. So not only am I going to get licensed so I can then make a business out of it, but I'm going to advance my knowledge, right? So just talking about these things. So, there's a deeper understanding of mentality. Because I personally think, and what I've heard from a lot of other people, is that mentality is literally everything. If you have a poor mentality or a victim mentality, as some people like to say, how are you ever going to get anywhere? You're going to blame everything. I think I mentioned this in one of my podcasts as well. But anyway, I see a lot of people preaching mentality, and I kind of wanted to put my own 2 cents on it. Because for me, mentality has been everything. And being out in the state of Florida, not having, people my age out here in the immediate present, mentality is everything. Because I was, when I lived in Illinois, I was very social. But moving out here, I can't really be as social. So how can I replace that fragment of my life with something else temporarily, right? And that has to do with a lot of mentality. So I'm going to pick up on other things to cover that, I guess, spare time. But while no one's out here and there's nothing to waste my time on per se, I should probably use that in a constructive way, right? So why is it that people choose to not advance themselves, right? A lot of people give me an excuse of motivation. Well, where's the motivation going to come from? You just going to wait for it to appear? What do you, why? Why are you waiting? I guarantee you, when successful people come across a tornado of problems that they're not trying to deal with that specifically, right? It's probably not very motivating to go deal with a mess up that an employee had, right? A huge mess up that could cost them a lot of money. That's probably not very fun, right? So where does that motivation come from? Well, it's all internal, right? So what are you doing to motivate yourself? Why are you not hitting the gym, right? I've even done it. Oh, I don't want to go to the gym today. Well, why? Just go. Just do it. Just show up, right? That's kind of why I do these podcasts and why they've, the first few have been all over the place, and maybe they're all over the place. It's just about starting. And I was like, how am I ever going to be a professional podcaster or, have a channel where I can reach out to my audience if I don't even start? I don't even think my channel has any subscribers, right? And with that, people probably aren't listening to this as of right now, but I'm still recording. I'm still sitting here. I'm still putting the work in. I showed up, right? I still went out of my way to do something. And granted, yes, I love it. It's great. All these things and aspects of it are just, it's just awesome, to be honest. It's kind of stress relieving. There's a lot of things, but that's because I'm not doing anything I don't want to do. I'm doing things because I want to do them, right? I mentioned that in my last podcast as well. Seriously, the motivation shouldn't have to be forced necessarily, unless it's, an off day. But the motivation should come internally from you doing something that you want to do. If you don't like working at McDonald's, don't work at McDonald's. Figure something else out to do. If you have to make it work to pay your bills, then you're going to have to figure out a way to make it work, right? So another thing that I thought was pretty interesting is how people are coming up with businesses nowadays, right? So this has to do a lot with mentality as well, because when you start up a business, it's not always the easiest thing to do. And so these people, since they're out of work, they've been having to come up with peculiar ideas on how to, bring in income. And so one of these people was fairly young, to my understanding, and started up his mobile car detailing. Got a truck and everything like that, decked it all out, and then he'll pull up right to you, and he'll detail your car for, a certain price. and his significant other went out and put his business cards on people's windows in a parking lot. I was like, it's like basically free advertisement right there. And his mentality is like, okay, well, how can I, in my opinion, I suppose, how can I benefit my business and bring more customers without spending a large amount of money and efficiently, right? And that, to me, that's amazing. Like, people are thinking like this, and they're actually going out and getting their dreams. And because anyone listening to this probably has heard before that right now it's the easiest time to be a millionaire. And I could not agree more. We have so many different platforms and ways to make money that just require work, right? And I think it's the fact that people, I guess that goes in mentality as well, but it's the fact that people like instant gratification, right? People hate even waiting 2 weeks for a paycheck. Like, for what? You know you're going to get it. You're going to get that paycheck. You put that work in, right? Do you need that money now? Well, if you need that money now, that you did something wrong. You know, I'm not a huge fan of savings, but you should have at least a little bit of backup to cover your butt for a while. Right, so it's just stuff like that, And, like, yeah, stuff gets hard. Pick your head up and keep going. Because if you put your head down and you stop, you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. Like, if you have no drive and you keep dreaming, well, then keep dreaming, because that's all it's going to be. Like, in all reality, that's so harsh, but what are you doing to advance yourself? Like, oh yeah, I want this nice new BMW, but I'm going to go home and eat a pizza and watch TV for the night. I'm tired from work. No. Like, I don't know how that makes sense to people. But like me myself, I think the best thing that I've done within the financial crisis year of 2020 and the beginning of 2021, which is now, is investing with people. Like, that brings me so much joy and makes me feel and helps me realize my future and what I have and the skills that I've built. Right? So we have an investing group that has certain people investing. I wouldn't necessarily call it a group. That sounds too professional. It's really not professional at all. But we have this group of friends that invest specifically, and everyone kind of has their own niche of investing, right? So I specialize in cryptocurrency and then soon to be real estate. And then one of my best friends does penny stocks, and the other guy does large companies and IPOs, right? And we've been able to not only have fun as if we're hanging out as friends, but also work towards our future at the same time. Like, it's literally a dream. The only thing that's not, I guess, amazing out of it is that we can't make livings off of it yet. Keyword yet. We're so young. You have to, you only get out what you put in, type of thing, right? Especially with investing, and you take losses here and there, whatever. But in all reality, like, that's super amazing to me. Like, we have a group of people that all invest together, and we just want to bring our ideas together to benefit each other. And the immediate benefit is financially, but the long-term benefit is it brings us closer and allows us to appreciate people as a whole more. And like I've said before, want more of those relationships. So then we're inclined to bring more people into it, because we're like, dude, like, we can't research every single company out there that exists. So let's bring in more people that know more, widen our range of reachability and knowledge. And it's amazing. So that's one thing. And then, always advancing your knowledge within that specific niche. So I'm always listening to podcasts about cryptocurrency, or watching news, or looking at Cointelegraph, which is a news source for cryptocurrency. Yeah. I mean, it's great. So other than that, mentality for me has been a huge thing lately, especially getting through, being resilient and getting through deep adversities. Mentality is absolutely everything. Trying not to get yourself down. Lifting yourself up solo, because in reality, you can't rely on anyone to lift you up. So I'm relying on myself to do that. It's been working great. You know, reading every night, keeping my morning and night rituals as best as I can. Obviously, I slack sometimes. You know, just things like that. Trying to stay away from junk food. And since I just moved to Florida, I haven't gotten a gym membership yet, but I'm going to do that today, actually, at 3:30. So, with that being said, I'm probably going to end it off there. I think I have my next topic, guys. I think my next topic is honestly going to be cryptocurrency. I'm really passionate about cryptocurrency. Obviously, since I just mentioned that I'm the head investor of crypto. Going to MIT for it. I love it. It's great. So I think I'm going to talk about that. Might not give too much background, but it might be for people who are already involved in crypto. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll make a playlist and a series of cryptocurrency and maybe screencast and learn how to do that. So I'm always looking to advance this podcast as best as I can. Obviously, this microphone sounds a whole lot better than the MacBook microphone. So, but all right, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to drink the rest of my LaCroix. You can hear it here. Probably make another cup of coffee. Go take a shower and hit the gym. It's been a pleasure. It's Z-Vamps. Later.